There's a king and his name is Ollie. He turned the princess into origami. He's got the castle wrapped in streamers. He's like Bowser, but he's even meaner. What's going on in the town today? Ollie just folded everything, even the Goomba's paper mache. But everything's gonna be okay, because I got new powers. I've been getting along with Bowser, I'm fighting against the minions. I think that we can win this. Princess, I gotta save her, and the whole world is made of paper. Tell Ollie, I'll see him later. I'll make the kingdom way safer. Now the castle's on a mountain, and the damage is astounding. Tell Ollie, King Origami, I got 1,000 gold arms on me. Paper Mario, woo! Battle with the Origami King. When I wanna feel strong, I can sing along to the Donkey Kong song all day long. All of my fears feel like they're gone when I'm singing the Donkey Kong song. I feel my best when I pound on my chest and eat my bananas until there's none left. I could break barrels till the break of dawn when I'm singing the Donkey Kong song. Though he is not a donkey at all, I don't know why, that's what he is called. But when I say it, it doesn't sound wrong. When I'm singing the Donkey Kong song, in the jungle's where I belong. When I'm singing the Donkey Kong song, when I wanna feel strong, I'm singing the Donkey Kong song. Everybody in the place to be, making their own island retreat. No one's giving out homes for free. That's why Tom Nook gave a loan to me. I earn Nook miles, I got a Nook phone. If I need to fly somewhere, I fly Dodo. My own place, I'm customizing. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Design my own clothes and I'm styling. Catching fish right off the island. Craft a ladder to start climbing. Yeah, I started in a tent. Now I'm living in a house. Got a lot of stuff and it's getting pretty full. Watch me jump this river with a pole. Da-na-na-na-na-na. If you don't like your world, you can change it. Look at Mario, he can make it. And if you see a coin, you should take it. Gotta give money cause that's what you pay with. I've been known to be a fireball shooter. I've been taking out all the Koopa Troopa. You gotta see the way I jump and maneuver. Last name Mario, first name Super. I just say the weird mushroom, you should probably see me. Cause I'm jumping in the air like my brother Luigi. Piranha plant, please don't eat me. I'll be inside the ghost house if someone need me. If you don't like your world, you can change it. Take it back and erase it. Jump high and squash a Goomba. Last name Mario, first name Super. Always looking up a Bonsai Bill. Someone need to tell Bowser to chill. Or I might have to throw a Galoomba. Last name Mario, first name Super. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Tell you about a princess named after a fruit. She's got a pink dress and it's pretty puffy too. She's a princess, toadstool. She's a princess, so she make her own rules. She can do anything, she can do it all. She like to play tennis and she liked to play golf. Or she can race a go-kart instead. Her friend Toad's got a mushroom for a head to protect Toad down from Bowser. She's got a super heart power. A super heart power. A super heart power. And she liked to bake. She baked Mario a real big cake. A super heart power. A super heart power. It's pretty strong, the power of love. She wears long, pretty white gloves. Princess Peach Toadstool. Princess Peach Toadstool. Princess Peach Toadstool. Princess Peach Toadstool. Luigi thought it was a good day. He won a free stay at a hotel. First day at the last resort. And it's not going so well. All of his friends got framed. And I mean it quite literally. He just found out it's a trap. King Boo's back, are you kidding me? Scary ghosts and spooky puzzles. Polter pup, we are in trouble. Poltergust, double zero. Slam the ghost and you're a hero. Every ghost has a weakness. The professor helps you see it. All his research helps Luigi. He gave birth to Luigi. Right now, listen to me. Everybody, get gooey. You can slide through the cracks. Yeah, just like that. And when it's time, you can change back. Use a burst to jump over attacks. Use a dark light to set your friends free. It's Luigi's Mansion 3. Yeah.
My neighbors ask me why I'm limping down the way, and who that fella was who came by yesterday. I quickly turn my face before I start to blush, 'cause frankly there is nothing I can say. Down, down, down. I've always had a thing for pushing the extremes, and I just got a thing you won't find in the magazines. This molded silicone has got me begging, please give me more of what I really need, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock. You need horse cock, of course cock. Grab the lube and slam the day away. My shaft is quivering and my balls are turning blue as I think of drinking in a foot or even two of my favorite stallion that I keep in my top drawer. Slip it in and I'll be dripping goo as I take more cock. Horse cock, shut the door and turn the lock. Is your cock a horse cock? You will never hear me saying nay, 'cause there is no cock like horse cock. Rub my dick inside a sock. Don't stop now, horse cock. Stretch out my insides and make me bray. My lovely horse cock, horse cock. Shoot the doop dup 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 dup. Horse cock, my horse cock. Yeah, dup 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 dup. Da 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 da. Yeah, dup 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 da 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 da. Yeah, dup 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 dup.
Whenever life gets you down, keeps you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind, and when you're all out of hope, down at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever get so low that you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a string, 'cause I've got the cure for all of my blues. All of his blues. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start a-melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
Everybody!
Take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start a-melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. Yeah, I got great big amounts in the place where it counts, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
My trouser monster.
Everything is going my way.
My meat is murder.
Everything is going my way.
Size doesn't matter.
Everything is going my way. Yum. Ba ba da ba ba. Da 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 da. Back in the not-too-distant past, when I would need a quick repast or a temporary break from my agenda, off to the bedroom I would head, pull out the Playboy from neath the bed, and sneak a peek at all the portraits of pudenda. My alternatives were slim. If I tried to find another source for sin, have to hang out with the weirdos in the back room of my local video store. But last month I finally made the call. I got a brand new cable modem installed, and it opened up the floodgates on a whole new universe of internet porn. Roman orgy scenes, dominatrix queens, girl on girl on girl on girl on girl on guy on sheep, gross anatomy, Pam and Tommy Lee. When you're given so much to choose from, who has time to sleep? After my girlfriend goes to sleep, then I get out of bed and down the hall I creep, so I can hunker down and wallow in depravity until 3 or 4. You'll always find me in that same tableau, silhouetted by my monitor's warm glow, and absorbing all the bounty from the cornucopia of internet porn. Barely legal teens, naughty figurines, geriatric German grandma spanking Spanish men, erotic Asian art, guys with extra parts. I don't think I'm ever going to see the sun again. Melonlove.com, there's my neighbor's mom. Bikers wearing diapers, chasing nurses dressed like Smurfs. Maison l'éclavage, en doutoir ménage. Every kind of smut from every corner of the earth.
Are you guys ready for another stream? Here we are bringing you all of my greatest dreams. Nintendo Prime is back. It's been a long time since I touched my nutsack. But here I am tonight for you. What are we gonna do? How's it going, everyone? Oh, baby, we're back! Man, it's been a long time. It has been a long time since we've been in any form of like a regular stream, a regular week. Did a video today, streaming tonight. Do a video tomorrow, stream tomorrow night. Do a video on Wednesday, podcast. That's right, the Nintendo Prime podcast comes back this week on Wednesday. We stream again on Thursday and on Friday. Now, we will be trying to hit 8 p.m. For the rest of this week. Today, I let my kids stay up a little bit later, hence the late start of the stream. And then when I got to the stream, I haven't touched my computer in a while. So, like, Streamlabs wasn't working, and there were other things not working. I had some technical difficulties. So, whatever. It doesn't matter. I know we started 40 minutes later, almost an hour and 40 later than I wanted to. But I'm here. We're doing this. We're live. We're going to have some fun. Ultima Break 82 says, did I get my monitor fixed? So for those who don't know, I have this giant 49-inch wide monitor. It's sitting right here on my coffee table in front of my gaming couch. No, there's a Samsung repair guy coming either at the end of this week or next week. They're waiting on parts, and they're going to come fix it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be covered under warranty or not. Technically, the warranty runs till 2023. Pretty sure it was lightning while I was on vacation that took it out. They're not 100% positive they're going to cover that under warranty. So we'll see what happens. I have a feeling the repair guy is going to come here. He's going to diagnose it. He's going to have the parts, and he's going to look at me and say it's going to be $800 to fix. It's a $1,000 monitor. At that point, you just buy a new monitor, right? But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that it's fully covered under warranty. Again, won't know till the repair guy gets here. Now, we had some stuff coming in here. We had a super chat just a moment ago. So let me hit that super chat quick, because we haven't done this in a while. Thank you, Jason Meinhardt, for the $5. That's right, we had a $5 super chat come in from Jason Meinhardt. He said, I want the name of the song. So the last song that was playing is called Internet Porn. It should have been pretty obvious since it kept saying, like, internet porn over and over again throughout the whole song. But that is the name of the song. It is from a musical, believe it or not. So we got four plus, because a lot of head on this. Four shots here. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total shots get fit in this. Actually, it's like 7.5. But we got all those Nintendo Prime ones earlier for 1, 2, 3. And then I just tossed in a couple extra for the $5 one. Remember, folks, we are doing shots tonight. Of course we are. For all super chats and donations. Basically, anything under $10 is just going to be beer. If it's $10, it'll be UV Cherry. If it's $20, it'll be Goldschlager. That's right, this dangerous stuff here. And if we had $100 in total super chats tonight, or we get a $100 super chat or donation directly, we got some Tequila Silver. So we have a lot to talk about today, including, obviously, why I sold my PlayStation 5 and my Xbox Series X. I actually sold my PlayStation 5 2.5 weeks ago. Sold my Series X like 2 days ago, and I just shipped it out today. So we'll talk about why I sold those systems and why I'm not worried about getting new ones soon. Because I do plan to probably pick them up again sometime in the future, in particular the PlayStation. But we'll talk about that in a moment. We also have to talk about why a dev out there is basically telling Nintendo, you need more power. And Nintendo asked them for feedback, and that's the feedback they gave. Actually, I don't have that article open here. It's open on my other computer. Dev tells Nintendo. Let me open this article quick. It was on Nintendo Everything. Got it. All right. So, first off, how you doing, everyone? Are we having a good day? Guten Tag. I feel like going ziggy zaggy, oi oi oi. All right. Let's see here. So Brian C says, welcome back. How you guys doing? This is a Q&A as well, so you guys can ask questions anytime you want. Just at me in the chat, at Nintendo Prime in the chat. You do not have to super chat or donate to get your questions answered, although your questions will jump to the top of the pile if they are. Also, I want to mention, for starters, we got another super chat, so thank you. Thank you, Brian C, for the $1.99. Said, because any useful games will be delayed. We'll get into why I sold them in a moment. I have a logical reason and an illogical reason. But we'll get into that in a moment. No, I do not hate Sony, and no, I do not hate Microsoft, so it's not like a, oh my gosh, fanboy type of thing. So I will get to that reason in a moment. Hey, Jason Meinhardt again! Thank you for the $5, my man. Says, what was the song before Internet Porn song? Let me get another beer shot poured in here. That one, let me see. That was Enormous Penis. It's literally like, for those who, it's a musical. I forget the name of it. If you just type in like Enormous Penis or Internet Porn on YouTube, it'll bring up the music. It's from a very hilarious musical, and all the names of the songs in it are quite literal. So like you heard it say, "Check out my enormous penis." Well, the name of the song's Enormous Penis. Yes, folks, my channel I would not say is child friendly, especially at night. My live streams are in general more adult oriented, or at least legal age oriented. If you are drinking with me tonight, I always ask that you be of legal age and that you drink responsibly. And if you're someone who has a problem, please don't drink at all. Like, just, you know, if you want to do shots of me, do shots of water or something, right? I don't want to encourage people to be alcoholics or any of that jazz. All right, let's get into some stuff here. So first off, a dev told Nintendo that they need more power. Now, this has been like a narrative that's been going on for years, where developers have, like, some of them have laughed at Nintendo, but this developer was actually asked by Nintendo for this opinion. So they're not just throwing this out there as a, oh, you know, because we feel like it. No, Nintendo actually directly asked them about it. So, the article here, I'm reading this off Nintendo Everything, says, back in 2019, Bitworks partnered with Larian Studios on the Switch version of Divinity Original Sin 2. Co-founder Tony Cabello has gone on record and said that the port was one of the most difficult projects we've ever done. Bitworks would later partner with Larian again, as the company's development team would form the recently announced Larian Barcelona. Larian's main focus at the moment is Baldur's Gate 3, though it's unclear if it'll end up on Switch. One factor that could influence the situation would be if Nintendo introduced more powerful hardware. Larian Barcelona spoke with Spanish site 3D Ugos, I think the J's are silent, about the possibility of Baldur's Gate 3 on Switch, just a bit before the OLED model was unveiled. So this conversation happened before OLED was unveiled. And here's what the studio said. We have no idea what Nintendo has in mind. And even if we did, we wouldn't be able to tell, that NDA stuff. But when Nintendo has asked us for feedback as developers, again, Nintendo has asked them for feedback as fellow developers, we have been very clear. Either you put out hardware with more power and memory, or Switch will become like a new 3DS, totally removed from the, air quote, real world. So one, my initial reaction is I don't blame Larian Studio. They're working on Baldur's Gate 3. They work on more graphic intensive games. Them wanting more power from Nintendo kind of falls in line with a lot of fans. A lot of fans want more power as well. They just want to see Nintendo games run at 60 FPS native resolution, right? Can we get 1080p docked at 60, 720p docked at 60 from just Nintendo games? Wouldn't that be great? Lock 60, no dips. Wouldn't that be awesome? There's so many Nintendo games that don't do that, or exclusive games. I know people point to Age of Calamity. Nintendo doesn't make that. It's also running on a really bad engine. I want, the team behind that to finally update their engine, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that I understand the desire for a more powerful hardware because I have that desire. But I also think that we have to consider that this is just a dev telling Nintendo that, hey, we want you to have more powerful hardware, and if you don't, you're removed from the real world. I feel like there's something to be said about being removed from the real world versus being removed from the reality of the video game market. So the Nintendo Switch is probably very, very close to 90 million. We're about to get, I think later this week, actually, in a few days, we're about to get a financial update from Nintendo, which is going to update the sales of Switch for the first quarter of their new fiscal year. And it's probably going to be just shy. I doubt they sold 5 million in quarter one. I think it's going to be just shy of 90 million units, like 98, 99 million units. Or 98, 89. Sorry, 88, 89. Sorry, numbers mixed up. So 88 to 89 million. It'll probably cross 100 million after the holiday season. So one reality of the market is to consider this. The Switch is still leading in unit sales every single month in the US. It's leading in unit sales every single week, essentially, in Japan. It's not necessarily always the leading unit sales in other markets, although it's up there. So the reality of the real world at the moment is that Switch is the lead current platform. PlayStation 4 is now last generation. Xbox One is now last generation. There's always PC, of course. PC never goes anywhere. There's not really generation. There's generations of hardware, but not really traditional console generations, right? So I feel like the reality of the current world is that Switch is the market leader. Now, that might change. I do think PlayStation 5 is coming hard. I do think that while it won't outsell Switch, I think this fiscal year, I think next fiscal year, maybe, I don't know. Switch has a bunch of bangers coming in 2022, so I don't know if PlayStation 5 will even outsell Switch then. But eventually, Switch sales are going to slow down, and PlayStation 5 sales are going to continue to be really strong. So I think PlayStation 5 could pass, especially once Nintendo releases their next-gen product, whenever they do that, that it's going to obviously become the market leader again. I think it's interesting just to consider that aspect. Now, from the developer standpoint, I get it. Real world is PCs are powerful. Mobile phones. I got my phone in my pocket here. I got an iPhone, just a basic 12, no Pro or anything. This is powerful, more powerful than a Switch. Believe it or not, this device is more powerful than the Switch. Gaming laptops. You have the Steam Deck coming. PlayStation 5, Xbox, etc. All these platforms are significantly more powerful than Switch. So the reality is that Nintendo is basically separated from the rest of the gaming market, even from phones, because they're using pretty weak hardware. But also the other flip coin of that reality is Nintendo's consistently proving you don't necessarily need great hardware to make great games. And I feel like indie developers have been proving that for a long time. How many amazing indie games? I mean, Hades is winning Game of the Year at some places. And that game obviously doesn't need the most powerful hardware in the world. It runs just fine on Switch. So it's one of those things where, yes, powerful hardware is nice, but it's not really needed to make a great experience. Some could argue it is needed to make a visually pleasing experience for some people. And to that end, I can understand that to a degree. I think art direction could have a lot more to do with that. But obviously, if you're really into hyper-realism, you're going to need powerful hardware, right? You're not going to get a hyper-realistic game like, say, The Witcher 3 on Switch and have that look comparable to, say, the next Call of Duty coming out later this year, right? The graphic differences are going to be massive. So if you're super into that particular art direction, Switch probably isn't going to be that platform for you. Switch is a platform that you buy, I think, primarily to play the exclusives or indies. There are third-party games on it, and I'm really glad that they're there. It was awesome at Mortal Kombat 11, landed day and date. But I do think that there is a disconnect in there somewhere between what consumers are buying versus what sometimes developers think matters most. And power is a big deal, and I want a more powerful Switch. But I also think, just like with Wii, just like with DS and the 3DS, to be honest, Nintendo continually proves you don't need power to get amazing games. And that they could sell you a product that's significantly less powerful than its competitors and still give you an amazing gaming experience. So we'll have to wait and see if anything ever comes of this. I mean, Nintendo's new next gen, whatever Pro next gen, whatever they do in the next few years, is going to end up being more powerful. That's just the natural curve of technology. Nintendo's not going to go to older technology. They're going to use something that's more modern, so therefore it should be more powerful. But it's still something to just keep in the back of your mind that this Divinity dev, and I'm sure other devs, this is just one of many that Nintendo talks to, have openly told Nintendo we want more powerful hardware, period. And I don't know, where they go with that. Obviously, Steam Deck is proving for, hey, just $100 more, you can get quite a bit more power. Why can't Nintendo put more power at 300? So we'll have to see what happens. This is more of a long-term thing. But what are your guys' thoughts on this developer of Divinity Original Sin 2 working on Baldur's Gate 3? What are your thoughts on them telling Nintendo, hey, you need to give us more power, or this thing is going to be just like a 3DS? And to be fair, 3DS was abandoned by most of the major AAA developers pretty quickly. Like, we still got some games here and there, mostly from Japanese devs. You didn't see a ton of AAA support for 3DS. So I think that's kind of what he's saying is like, hey, look, it's cool you got all the Nintendo games and some cool indie games, but like, you're not going to be getting the big guns, especially the ones you've been getting for much longer if you don't do something. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Did you see my DM of Twitter? I was a winner in the E3 giveaway and never got my prize. Just wondering what happened. Thanks. Luke Townsend. Thank you so much. I did see did you DM me? I think you DM me, right? I'm just looking through my DMs. I got so many damn DMs. This is insane. Here's what I'll say for you and for anyone else who is in our chat right now, that is looking to get your stuff from E3. Don't worry, it's still coming. All E3 winners will have their digital codes, physical prizes, all that jazz before Switch OLED comes out. That is my promise to you. I'm not putting like an exact date on this because I don't have an exact date. Let's just say E3 was a hell of a lot more expensive than I planned. And then I had a vacation, which got changed last minute. So I was going to have all the money to take care of that. But then we couldn't get Yulia on the cruise ship because the cruise ship was trying to claim she's not a U.S. citizen, and we were having all this issue with paperwork. So last minute, like literally like 2 days before we flew out, all of our plans changed, and we ended up going to Vegas. Couldn't get a refund on the cruise, so all that money for Vegas had to come out of pocket, even though the cruise was already paid for. It was a big mess. So essentially, bank accounts running thin. I'm waiting to replenish things. I'm not just gonna ship items and buy all the digital codes and ship everything out ASAP because I need to make sure, first and foremost, me and my family are taken care of. Then I'll worry about taking care of all the rest of you guys. But my promise is before Switch OLED comes out, because we are giving away a Switch OLED, by the way. Not sure you guys are aware. Duh, I'm giving away a Switch OLED. All you gotta do is be subscribed to enter. Obviously, before I can complete that giveaway, I need to finish up the old giveaways. So it will get to you. It's free. As I've been telling everyone who won during E3, you want something for free. You're just going to have to be a little patient here. Things are taking longer than expected. I told you E3 was a big hot mess for me. This is part of that big hot mess. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do an event like E3 again. It was pretty crazy. Although a lot of people enjoyed it. So maybe, maybe we'll just do bigger but less giveaways. Does that make sense? Like more big giveaways, less smaller ones. We'll figure it out. I'm always open and honest about this stuff. Will you have tracking numbers? So a more 12321 _ I can't guarantee that every item I ship out physically will have tracking numbers. That is not a guarantee I can give you because here's what's basically happening. Eric's coming over on Wednesday to do the podcast. Before or after the podcast, we aren't sure when, depends on when he gets out of work. We're going to be packing up all the physical items and getting them in boxes and then writing a number on every box. That number corresponds to our spreadsheet, so we have all the shipping information. And when I go to ship it, I can, write a label and all that jazz. I mean, I could pre-print labels, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do the labels at my local post office. It's not a big deal. They give them to me for free. And I'm going to be shipping them in like small batches, like 4 or 5 items at a time. The problem is when you do that, and they give you all the tracking numbers. Sometimes they just bunch the tracking numbers together, and I'm not sure which address that tracking number goes with. So that's why I can't guarantee that I can give you a tracking number because I might give you the wrong tracking number. So that's more of a wait and see. For some items, I will try to make sure Like the person who won the Animal Crossing Switch, like that's a $300+ item with taxes. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make sure that they have a tracking number for that. I don't want that package getting stolen. That is a big concern everyone has, is package thieves. Just because it's not an issue in my area so much doesn't mean it's not an issue in your area. So people want to know when things are gonna arrive. I can't guarantee I can give you tracking information. I could tell you when it ships, probably. I think I'll be able to do that. But anyways. Yeah, life happens. And as I keep telling you, you want something for free. I always say, I haven't had anyone complain yet when I told them that, but I always say, hey, you know what? You won something for free, and it's taking longer than expected to get to you, but hey, you won something for free, so like, be happy, man. You got free shit. I wish I got free shit. Fuck, I gotta pay for everything, man. Well, this I got as a gift, but I usually have to pay for everything. Paid for this camera, that monitor, which, oh god, I really hope that they fix it under warranty. I'm gonna be pissed if they don't. I love that monitor. Plus, it messes up my whole stream setup. It's not on the monitor I had here to do like a different layout. I can't do because now I'm using that as my main monitor, which just looks tiny on my desk. Anyway, whatever. All right. So people want to know why I sold my PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And no, it wasn't to ship giveaway items. I'm sure some people are thinking that's maybe why. So here's why I did it. It had nothing to do with needing money. Obviously, having a nice little cash influx is nice. And yeah, I paid some bills, but that wasn't why I sold them. I would have been fine. I didn't have to sell anything. Here's why I sold them. Couple things. I sold the PS5. And it really solidified my decision because I bought the PlayStation 5 like back in March or April, somewhere in there. You guys saw my live stream for it. Oh, some of you did anyways, when I picked it up. And I was all excited. And I did a mini review of the platform. I beat Miles Morales on there. I beat the Astrobot game it came with. I beat Sackboy. And I really wasn't into Returnal, so I didn't play much of that. I played a little bit of the Demon Soul, Dark Soul, whatever it was, that remastered game. I forget what it's called. I really didn't get that much into it. I thought it looked pretty, but I didn't get that much into it. At least pretty for a dark and grimy game like that. But bottom line is, I hadn't touched my PlayStation 5 in 3 months. And I always told myself, if I get to a point where I am not playing a system that I own for a long period of time, but I'm finding myself still finding time to play games. So let's say I'm still playing games on my PC. I'm still playing games on my Switch or on my phone, right? So I'm finding time to play games, but I'm just choosing not to play games on a given platform. Then why do I own that platform? Just to say I own it? Just to clout chase as a YouTuber? Oh, I own everything. But I don't play on everything. So why do I own it? Why am I keeping a PlayStation 5 when there's others out there that will play that damn thing every single day? Why hold on to a platform that I'm not playing for one, that I am playing? Like, I'm playing Switch all the time. I'm not playing that very much. There isn't a lot happening on it I'm interested in. And then even the one game I was looking forward to, Horizon Forbidden West, delayed to next year. And yeah, I got MSRP back for it. So I just got my money back for it. So it wasn't as if, I'm out the money. It's like, no, I could just buy another one, later. But, they're so hard to get. It's really not that hard to get. Target gets them in stock fairly often in my area. So I can get another one. And I'm not going to get the disc version. I'm going to get the all-digital version. One, honestly, on next gen, even on last gen, like, you have to install all the games anyways. So yeah, there's resale value in physical games, but whatever. I like those. I basically think that if you get rid of the disc drive, it looks sleeker as the all-digital version. So I'm going to get the all-digital version later. And I did something, as a YouTuber I usually don't do. I bought a system before it had the games to justify me buying it. And I always tell people, don't buy a platform if there's not enough games on it to justify your purchase. Well, there isn't enough games on PlayStation 5 to justify my purchase. So I got rid of it, and I'll buy it again when there's enough games on the platform to justify me buying it. And by then, there might even be a slim version or something that comes out that's a smidge better and fixes some of the design faults with the PlayStation 5, because there are design faults. And what's obvious about some of the design faults is they announced, like, over this last week or last week or whatever, that PlayStation 5 is going to be, at least on beta systems, people in the beta program are going to be able to put in SSDs soon. And then they did this giant list of requirements. Okay, yeah, it's got to be a Gen 4 SSD. You can't use Gen 3. Okay. It has to all run at a bare minimum of 5,000 megabytes. Fine. Okay, whatever. But they say they have to have heat sinks on them. If they don't have heat sinks, don't use it. It's likely going to fail. It's very specific. You have to have heat sinks. And the problem, of course, with a lot of Gen 4 SSDs is they have heat sinks. They have heat sinks on both sides. You can't have heat sinks on both sides. The PlayStation 5 is not designed to have heat sinks on both sides of your M.2 SSD. It's very, very small area to fit it in. And on top of that, it has to be a low profile one. So even if you want to use, you buy a chunker one that only has the one side, the top side, with a heat spreader on it. If that heat spreader is too thick, you won't be able to put your panel back on your PlayStation 5. Again, the base PlayStation 5 isn't designed very well. One, you shouldn't need a heat sink on your micro, whatever, SSD, your M.2 SSD. You shouldn't need a heat sink on it. I'm not saying that it doesn't help, and lots of Gen 4 SSDs do come with heat sinks, but you don't need them unless you have poor cooling. So a lot of Gen 4 SSDs also don't come with heat spreaders. And as been proven by Linus Tech Tips and other places, you don't need them. As long as you have good airflow in your case and nice air flowing over your SSD, you don't need it. You don't need heat spreaders. The problem PlayStation has is PlayStation 5 is choked for air. It's so bad that if you remove the side panels on your PlayStation 5, you increase airflow by 80%. An 80% increase by removing the side panels. The system's choked for air. It also has the heat sinks put in a stupid direction. It's all around a horrible design. This isn't me insulting Sony, the company. Whoever were the engineers that designed the cooling aspects of this system were idiots. It's one of the worst cooling designs in console history. Right up there with Red Ring of Death Xbox 360s. It's just bad. You can't sugarcoat it. It's a horrible cooling design. And this is why you need heat spreaders, because they want you to radiate the heat off of that SSD and out the back of the system. There's no airflow pushing it that way, by the way. This is someone's already done some tests on this. There's no airflow to that SSD spot. So that fan that spins in there, that's really cool with all the fins, if you get the right one and it spins super, super fast, it blows all this air, none of that air hits where you hook up your M.2 SSD. There's zero airflow. So the reason you need a heat spreader is so it can radiate the heat off of that better than just not having one, and hopefully that comes out the back of the system. That is the hope. It's a stupid design. It's a dumb design. And it just reaffirmed that launch PS5 hardware is not ready to me. I'm okay getting rid of it. I'll get it again when it's more ready, right? Or when there's more games. Thank you, Turbo Blast 1 for the $1.99. Says Sony lied about games coming to 20. So Sony obviously was very ambitious with some of the games coming to 2021 that obviously aren't Horizon Forbidden West being the big delay. It'd be interesting too if we get a Horizon versus Breath of the Wild round 2 again next year if they release around the same time. That would be very interesting. Here's the thing: Sony always overpromises release dates for games. So Sony is the master of unveiling games years ahead of time. So you get this idea of, here's this massive slate of games coming to Sony's platform, and all of them are going to be amazing. Yeah. When they come, eventually. In general, Sony platforms don't start to hit their stride with exclusives until roughly year 3. You'll get a couple in year 2, but year 3 is usually when Sony platforms really hit a stride with exclusives. So Nintendo's a little different. Nintendo usually hits you hard in the first couple of years and then dies off. Switch has been different for them. They've been going every other year, hitting you with bangers, and that's continuing again next year. This year, they have a solid lineup, but 2022 is already looking just, if everything announced for 2022 comes out in 2022, that's a baller year already, and that's just what we know. Sony, it usually takes about 3 years, and then they're really in their stride, or it takes 2 years, and then in that third year, they hit their stride. So there's that. There's not enough games on it to justify me owning it, and I'm not pleased with the hardware design, and I'm worried this thing's going to fail. So I sold it. Got my money back for it. Someone else bought it at MSRP. I haven't played it in a long time. Everything worked on it. I double checked. I stress tested it and moved on. The Xbox Series X. Why did I sell that? Because that was a more recent selling. I sold the PlayStation 5 weeks ago. I sold the Xbox Series X just a few days ago. Why did I decide to sell that? Chiefly for the same reason I sold the PlayStation 5. Hadn't touched it in 2.5 months. Last time I touched it, I fired up MLB The Show. I like Game Pass. I think Game Pass adds a lot of value. But clearly, the games I wanted to play weren't there. Now, look, Halo Infinite's coming, and yeah, that looks really, really good. The beta or whatever just happened, and people are all excited about that. But at the same point, I personally find that while Halo's coming, and I'm excited for that, I don't know that that's enough for me to own a Series X. Because guess what's also coming out? Switch OLED. Guess what's also coming out? Metroid Dread. I'm already going to have other games I'm more interested in playing than Halo. I'm more interested in Metroid Dread than I am Halo Infinite. I'm more interested in the new Mario Party game than I am Halo Infinite. And when I start to realize where Halo Infinite kind of, if that was coming to Switch, where it would rank in my importance of games I'm buying this extra, it's like 5th or 6th on my list. It's just not enough for me to own a system that I know someone else is going to want and make better use of. So I sold it. And yes, I sold it for less than MSRP. I couldn't in good conscience sell that one at MSRP or better. I had some offers for better. I couldn't in good conscience do that, knowing I personally modified that system. And the person I sold it to, I told them that. I modified that platform. It has liquid metal on it. So I said, hey, I can't guarantee this thing's even going to work in a year, 2 or 3 years. It probably will. It'll probably be fine. But I can't guarantee it. So, keep that in mind when you buy it. So I didn't sell it for MSRP or anything. But it's just someone else could use it and could use it more than me. It's basically why I sold the platforms. Sounds crazy because I do plan to buy them again. But I think I'm waiting. I don't have a problem with the way the Xbox Series X was designed. That was more so hey, I've owned that one even longer, and I still barely play it. Everything I want to play is on PC and my Switch. And if that's what I'm gaming on, then why do I own these other expensive platforms? I'm not buying games for them, so what's the point? And that's what I was kind of stuck with. So I am going to re-pick up those platforms in the future when, 1, the library can justify the purchase, and 2, at least for PlayStation, I'm waiting. I feel like I really want to wait on a redesign. I want to see a Slim or something come out in a year or 2, and then I'll pick up the PlayStation 5. I know I'm going to be really tempted when Horizon comes out next year to get it, but I hopefully I can hold out and realize, hey, I already owned one. I already know the things I don't like about it. There are things I do like about it. The DualSense controller is great. I love that thing. Mine never broke, so knock on wood there. But I don't know. I wonder if the Switch OLED will have better cooling. I doubt it. It doesn't need it either, so there's no reason for them to change it. It's using the same chip. So there you go. There's my reasons. Hopefully you guys understand now. Not everybody would have did that. If you don't need the money, why sell? That, some people would say that, hey, you already own the platforms, just wait for the... Yeah, I know, but they're still hard to get. So, there's a thing in the back of my mind where these platforms are still hard to get for people. And I'm not going to be interested in them again until they're easier to get. So they're hard to get, so why not let people who can enjoy them more have them? That's kind of like my logic, right? Like, you know what? They're just sitting here not being used when there's other gamers out there that would use these as their primary gaming platforms every effing day. So why not let them have it? That's my logic anyways. Turbo Labs! What's up, Turbo Labs with the 499? Says, Nintendo just surprised us with games that we want. For Xbox, just get a Series S for Halo. I travel with the Series X, works great. Drop some Super Chats! That's because the Super Chat's flowing, everyone. We're actually having a pretty decent stream right now. Although, I'm not even watching this on the back end. I really got to change up where I'm watching this stream. Let me go to the back end here. I also never shared this stream on Twitter. I better do that. Hey, we're live. Whoops, a little late. Let me go to what's this one here? Discord. That's what I was trying to do. I don't have Discord open. I gotta change where I'm watching the stream. I want to watch it on the back end so I actually know what the hell's going on. All right. Let's see here. We can close this front end. I absolutely love my Series X, but this is coming from a guy who dropped out of Xbox early in the Xbox 360 days. Yeah, Red Ring of Death was pretty bad back in those days. Makes sense. You can play most of those PlayStation 4, Xbox One consoles anyway, and you can sell them to the people that will play the systems more. Yeah, my logic is just people. I just knew there were people that could play it more than me, who will enjoy it more than me. Let them have it, and I'll buy them again when the time is right for me as a gamer to buy them. Right now, the time just isn't right. And you know, all my time's being spent on Switch. There's going to be a time that doesn't happen where all my gaming time isn't spent on Switch. Now, Switch is going to wind down eventually. Legend TMP says, hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well too. So do you guys understand why I did it? I hope no one's like mad at me or anything. Cheers. You know, I didn't fundraise for any of those. I bought them all out of my own pocket. Amore 123. Can I send you Zelda Joy-Con pain? What is Zelda Joy-Con pain? And why would I want to be in pain? What is going on? Your Zelda Joy-Cons broke? The Skyward Sword ones? What broke on them? Is it just drift or is there something else broken? Funny how Switch OLED talk has quieted down. Well, Nintendo next door. What else are we supposed to say about Switch OLED at this point? We know exactly what it is. Same Switch we have now, slightly bigger, brighter, more vibrant screen. It has a better kickstand and it comes with a LAN port. All of these are nice additions. We know everything about it. What else do we need to know? It's easy to pre-order for the most part. Well, what do we need to know about the platform? Like what are we missing that screams we need to keep talking about it? Unlike something like a Pro where we'd be like, oh, what are the specs? What are this? What games are coming? It's just another Switch. So like, kind of like with the Switch Lite, once that was announced and we knew everything about it, there really wasn't anything to talk about until the platform came out. Because what are we supposed to talk about? Like, yeah, the talk's going to quiet down because we already know everything about them. We know literally we know everything about Switch OLED. So until it's here, what are we supposed to say? Until it's in my hands and I can give impressions and I can tell you if it's worth upgrading, what else am I supposed to say? Other than we are giving away a Switch OLED. I've got 2 pre-orders in, one on Amazon. The one I'm giving away will be from Amazon. And yeah, my own personal one from my local GameStop. So yeah, I'm giving away, it is the white version of the Switch OLED. So that Metroid Dread, at least my opinion, Metroid Dread styled Switch OLED. We're giving that away. All you gotta do is be subscribed to the channel. That's it. No fancy links or anything. Just be subscribed. It'll be going to one of our lucky subscribers. We'll be announcing it during a live stream, just like this one, in early October. So be subscribed. That's one thing I can say about Switch OLED. We are giving one away. You sent a pic on Twitter. Let me see this. I can't show it to everyone because, again, this is one part of the monitor being down. It's like, Damn, dude, you snapped the joystick right off. Damn. Don't see that every day. Are you going to send it to Nintendo to get fixed? They'll fix that for free under warranty. I mean, you could send it to me and I'll fix it, but I mean, it won't be free because I have to buy parts and stuff. But take advantage of your warranty and send that in, man. Holy crap. He literally, like, the joystick's, like, not attached. It's funny. You're the unluckiest subscriber because you haven't won anything yet? It happens. You have a lot of subscribers. Not everyone's going to win. Oh, so people asking about burn-in. Nintendo did recently talk about burn-in with the OLED screens, basically telling you don't worry about it. They already have measures in place on the platform, like auto screen brightness that will help with a reduced burn-in. And as long as you're not like leaving your Switch on in portable mode for a really long extended part of time, which is hard to do without it being plugged in, you won't really need to worry about screen burn. Screen burn-in hasn't really been an OLED concern. God, what's it been, like 5-6 years? Screen manufacturers and TV makers started realizing that, hey, there's ways that, there's measures we can put in place on your TVs and on your screens and on your systems to really reduce the chance of OLED burn-in. It's not that it can't happen. It's just, it doesn't happen that often anymore. It's not a common issue with OLEDs anymore. As permanent drift. Again, more reason to send it into Nintendo. Oh, man. What's up, Patrick Moeller? How's it going, my man? Hello! When are E3 prizes being shipped out? I addressed this earlier today. Before Switch OLED comes out. That's all I can tell you right now. I don't have an exact date, but my plan is everything will be shipped before October 8th. I don't have an exact date. Don't know when your particular items are going to arrive. I have no idea. It just happens when it happens. A lot of unexpected things. It's life. Take care of family first. Get the free stuff out you guys won later. That's my mantra anyways. Don't worry, it's all coming. And I'm going to wrap it all up before this current giveaway wraps up because it would feel weird to like ship off a Switch OLED. But here's all the E3 prizes sitting in the back room. Because they're literally sitting there doing nothing. I can tell you Eric is coming over this Wednesday, not just for the podcast, but he's going to help me organize and box up all the physical items for shipping. So they'll all be ready to go. Just a matter of, all right, when can I take $100 here, $100 there? Go, grab a lot of stuff, take it to the post office, and ship it off. Let's see here. I threw my right Joy-Con kind of a couple times. Oh my God, are we back to the Wii days? Are we back to the Wii days where people are throwing their controllers because of the motion controls? So, I try to be understanding that this can happen, right? Your hands can sweat. My hands sweat all the time. Controllers, these are third-party ones here, but like, this one's easier to hold on to, but it could fly out your hand. Like, I can understand it. I've never had it happen. When I was a kid, I really wasn't a kid, I was a teenager. With Wii, actually, I wasn't even a teenager. I was an adult. Holy shit. God, I'm old. I never had a problem throwing Wiimotes without putting the strap on. Never threw a Wiimote. Still have not thrown a Joy-Con. I do not understand how people are throwing Joy-Cons. I don't get how it happens. I get it, but I don't get it because I've never had it happen, and I use motion controls more than most people that aren't playing VR. Hey-oh! Thank you, Vanessa712 for the $5. Hope your vacation was great, but also good to see you back on stream. Keep it the go. Yeah, we're back to our regular schedule. So as of today, we are back to our normal schedule. So video every day, streams Monday through Friday, Wednesday's the podcast. Still working on a guest for this week. Of course, a couple of people that I was going to have on are now they're on vacation. But that's okay. Well, we'll get a guest. Everything will work. Through my Wiimote once, it has Mario Party 8, and I was angry at your brother. No rage throws. I can hammer my right Joy-Con. Yes, they do come with straps you can put on. If you have an issue throwing your controllers, then use the straps. I don't have that problem, but obviously some people do. Cheers, by the way. All right. Let's see here. My Switch has some dead pixels and other problems, so the OLED Switch is a nice upgrade for me. By the way, my Switch is the OG. Okay. You broke a flat screen with a Wiimote while playing Wii Bowling. Ouch. Ouch. I wonder how many bars, like they used to do Wii Bowling at bars. I wonder how many TVs were broken at bars because you would like pass around like the one controller. I wonder how many TVs at bars got broken from bowling. Or how many people got hit. Yeah, Andres, he's on vacation right now. He was texting me earlier, making me all jealous, showing me he was a little intoxicated while we were talking, so that was fun. That was fun. I think Andres and me we need to go party sometime in real life, man. We need to meet up and go have some fun. I think we'd have a great time. Andres Restart's great. I love him. He's on vacation though. He still might try to come on, but I said, dude, don't like. You're on vacation. I just got off vacation. Don't don't overdo it, man. Enjoy the vacay. Enjoy the vacay. Let me see here. Gearheem is not rage worthy. Threw it because I was pissed. When I say I can hammer my right Joy-Con, I mean literally use a hammer. I broke it trying. What? What'd you do? What? How did you? How? Why? How? What? Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. Go ahead and hammer it. Have some fun. Make a YouTube video out of it. The real permanent solution to Joy-Con drift. Just wreck it. I did message Game Over Jesse for this week, but he hasn't got back to me. I am happy he got over 100,000 subs now. So that's something I'm really happy for him. But he's been a bit more, I don't know, what's the word, flaky? He hasn't been posting as many videos since E3. Maybe because a lot of his, or all of his 35th anniversary stuff was basically wrong. Like literally everything he said was wrong. So all of his sources were... Yikes. That's really all I could do is say yikes. But he did address it a couple weeks ago in a video, so kudos to him for that. I like when people don't hide behind the fact that, hey, I was wrong in a bunch of stuff. Let me explain what happened. So good on him for that. But yeah, he hasn't been making as much content lately. I think his life has just gotten busy. It happens. His life goes in cycles. He's got lots of family stuff. I don't want to get into it. I like crap. So, I remember way back in 2017, my friend put the strap on backwards. Oh, you mean they went the wrong direction with it? Oh my gosh, that was a huge problem back in 2017. People were putting those straps backwards on the Joy-Cons, and it would like break the lock, and then the controllers wouldn't lock on your Switch anymore because they made them out of plastic. Oh, that sucks when people who don't know what they're doing do that. Granted, Nintendo should better design them so you can't put them on the wrong way. Like it shouldn't be possible to put them on the wrong way. Nintendo should have had better prevention measures in for that. But still, oh, that sucks, man. When I got my Wii, I was scared the controller will break from hitting the TV, so I don't go insane with my controllers. John Spawn waved it out. What? Jesse took a small break because he had plans for July, but things happened, so he took the time off to spend with it. Yeah. I hadn't talked to him in a bit, but I kind of figured when I saw his content production really slow down. He's like a video a week now. I was like, yeah, he's got stuff going on. He's got real life stuff going on a lot. So I try to be. He's a good friend of mine. We've been friends a long time, so I just kind of let him be. He hits me up whenever things are normal again. He lets me know sometimes too some other stuff. Oh, that's funny. People sending me broken. Okay, did I? Oh, I never shared the stream on Discord. Oh no, let me let the Discord people who I haven't been. Dude, has it really been this long? I didn't even know about threads on Discord. It's been so long since I've been on Discord. Shows you how much I pay attention to my own server. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I mean, I do have some mods. Sorry, guys. All right. It's hard to make things idiot proof. I mean, nothing's idiot proof. Yeah, Jesse's a good dude. Have you been asked to be on Spawn Waves podcast? No. So I don't. Wait. Let me make a correction. I have been on his podcast twice. This was like back in 2018, I want to say. So the first time I asked him, and he said, "Hey, we're full." I asked him again. He said, "We're full." And then like the third week, I asked him, and he said, "Oh yeah, we got room. Let me get you on." And I came on. Then a month and a half later, he messaged me, and he said, "Hey, we just had like Dreamcast guy or someone drop out, and our podcast is looking a little thin. I know this is last minute, but do you think you can come on?" And I said, "Well, yeah, of course." So then I came on, but I haven't been on since. It's probably been like 2 years at least since I've been on. There's nothing, John doesn't hate me or anything. Me and John get along fine. We still talk once in a while behind the scenes. But yeah, he hasn't asked me on since. I haven't asked to be on since. I've thought about asking to go on. I know that being on Spawn Waves is a great way to get in front of a whole new giant crowd. It's like one of, if not the biggest video game podcast in the world. I like a lot of the people that are on it. I like Misclick and all that. I like a lot of those people. And I get along with all of them. And yeah, it's whatever. I just don't. One, I don't like the style of the podcast. I think there's too many people on it. I think you get to a point where you have so many people on a podcast that it's impossible for everyone to really contribute in a way that feels like they should be there. I think there's a lot of weeks you go on the podcast and the people who aren't regulars don't get to talk very much. And some of them are really big channels and they just don't get to talk very much because it's awkward to them. They're not part of this crew. They don't regularly talk to these people. And they don't know how to like interject and if it's okay to interrupt people and all. So like it ends up being kind of awkward sometimes when they have guests on because they don't get to talk much. And it kind of leads to, them being like, why am I wasting my time? When I don't get to talk much. Now, that's not a problem for me. You guys know I'm a very talkative person. I will push my way in. And I don't give a shit. And if they don't like it, they can just not have me back on. Yeah, I am who I am. I'm not going to change. But yeah, I haven't been back on since, and maybe that's why. I doubt that's why. I think what really happened is that a lot of the other channels blew up. Like if you look at the regulars, they're all kind of bigger channels at this point. They've all blown up. I think Player Essence is still the smallest channel, and he's at almost 80,000 subscribers. So all the channels kind of came up together and blew up together, and I didn't. I was on the outside looking in at that. Now, that's not saying I'm not doing fine. We're about to hit 71,000 subs. We're doing great. We're fine. But we're doing that on our own. We're not doing that as a conglomerate with a bunch of YouTube channels. Like, I'm not guesting on Player Essence's channel or on Spawnwave's channel or even on Andre's Restart. I think I've been on one podcast on his channel. Like, I'm not on all these other channels pushing subscribers to me. And that's a common way that people grow, by the way, is they partner up with all these channels and they do co-videos together. And they end up pushing subscribers to each other's channels. I don't really do that. Like, I push subscribers to other people's channels. I've helped Andre's Restart channel grow. I've helped a few other channels grow as well by having them come on my podcast. But I rarely get invited or show up on other people's channels. It's kind of cool because it means like all my growth at my channel is internal growth. I don't want to say it's all organic per se. I'd like to feel like it is. But like I know subscribers are growing right now because we're giving away a Switch OLED, right? Like that's making people want to subscribe. But I don't have a problem with that because it's just people who are already watching my video, right? Like it's people that you don't know we're giving away a Switch OLED unless you watch my stream and watch my video. And you don't watch my video, watch my stream unless you already clicked on it and were already interested, right? So if you were already interested in my channel and you were already enjoying the content, and then I mentioned, hey, you know, if you want to win a Switch OLED, just be subscribed. I'm really just growing from the people who are already watching my stuff. Some people, by the way, who were unsubscribed and didn't know they were because YouTube does that. It's a lot of, I feel, organic growth for me, which there's no wrong way to grow on YouTube, to be, well, I guess there is, because those channels end up getting banned eventually for the way they grow. So I guess there are wrong ways, but I like the way that we grow. I would love to be on this podcast again, though. Are you going to use the Switch OLED for gaming or just for looks? What? Am I going to use it for gaming or just for looks? What the hell? Hold on. Do people think, like, Switch OLED's like a status symbol? Is it like something that, you know, you put your chain on and you hang it from your neck and you just walk around and go, yeah, you check out my Switch OLED? Yeah, baby. Oh, you think I'm just going to put it on the shelf back here and be like, oh, yeah, you see that Switch OLED? Doesn't that look cool in the background? A system I never use. No, it's going to become my main Switch. I'm gonna Flavor Flav. Just hanging off. Dude, I'm buying a chain for it right now. I'm gonna find a carrying case for it that just, you know, adds extra grip, and I'm gonna make sure it's got a long strap so I can wear it around my neck like Flavor Flav, man. Day one. I want to make sure I can get a case for it day one. So when I walk out of GameStop on live stream, I can put it around my neck and yell Flavor Flav. But no, I'm obviously going to use it. It's going to become my primary Switch. Now, my old Switch, that I don't know. I might end up selling it eventually. Might give it to one of my kids. I don't know yet with my old Switch. We'll see. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to have it around at first because I'll be doing some comparisons of this is what the game looks like on this one. This is what it looks like on this one. In dock mode, look, it's exactly the same. I probably won't do dock mode comparisons once I realize it's exactly the same because I know it's going to be. But, you know, I could do side-by-side comparisons. Here's Breath of the Wild on both of them. Here's this on both. Here's Skyward Sword. Here's this. Here's that. And you guys can see the differences. At least what I can show on camera. So, yeah, I'll do something like that with it. But after that, it'll become my main Switch. And then we'll go from there. Get a screen protector, too. I like to live dangerous. Nintendo Prime doesn't game. He just pretends to for the views. I'm such a poser, you know. I don't actually play games. I'll say this. I don't play games as much as I used to. But, I mean, when you have 3 kids, it's kind of what happens. But I still game. My Switch is literally in my bedroom right now because that's where I game with it the most. In handheld mode in my bedroom. Although I need to bring my charger up there. Oh, wait, no, my charger is up there. It's just in the drawer. I have an extra charger for my Switch. But it's upstairs in the drawer. I got to get it plugged in so I can play it tonight. What am I going to be playing? I think I'm going to be playing a little bit of Skyward Sword HD. I think I'm going to try the button controls for the first. I've been using motion controls only on it. I think I'm going to try the button controls today and see how it goes in handheld mode. I've been playing it only in docked. So we'll see. We'll try buttons in bed tonight, see how I like it. It's aesthetically pleasing, though. The OLED looks pretty, man. Yeah, dude. The Switch OLED's so baller. So baller. I'm going to want to buy a hat that I could just, like, attach it to and walk around with a giant Switch OLED on my head. Yeah. Speaking of hats, must put on, it's me, a Mario. So I didn't do my hair today. I need to know if the OLED, yeah, that, okay, to be fair, that is the one thing we aren't sure. We aren't sure if Switch OLED has a glass front or if it's a plastic one. They have advantages and disadvantages of both. Obviously, the plastic's way harder to break, better for kids. But it's also easier to scratch, worse for adults. So it's kind of a, you know, you could obviously just put a tempered glass screen protector on and then it doesn't matter. But so it's almost better if they would just go plastic because you can get the best of both worlds for like an extra $5. But I want to know which HDMI version it's recognized as. It's going to be recognized as the same as the first one. It's using the same chip. It's got no reason to change that. I don't know why people are hoping that, oh yeah, I hope it's recognized as 2.0 or 2.1. Who gives a shit? It's still only going to give you a 1080p signal, so why does it fucking matter? It really doesn't matter. Oh, because they might boost it in the future, or they might give you a 4K. Get over it! I'm not saying the Switch Pro doesn't exist. Maybe it does. I have no idea. But I'll tell you this. This platform ain't never given you more than what the current platform does in dock mode. So besides better internet connection. We hope. We hope. We hope that LAN port's running at full speeds and not at USB 2 speeds. Name 2 things that go together better than Nintendo Switch and laying in bed. Yulia and Nate laying in bed in the same place in bed. Besides that, I mean, peanut butter and jelly is a classic, man. That shit's been going together. Yes, butter and bread, toast. I mean, there's a lot of things that go together pretty damn well and are classics and will prolong and exist for longer than Switch will. So I like the analogy though. How's Mr. Pumpkin doing? He's here. He didn't go anywhere. He's chilling. There you go, Mr. Pumpkin. Oh, he's still off camera. Jeez, I have that camera really zoomed in right now. Oh yeah, because of my normal videos. He's here. Mr. Pumpkin's here. He's alive. He's doing all right. I'm zoomed in more than usual. That's because my standard videos I like to be more zoomed in on. My live streams I usually like to zoom out a little bit more, but it's whatever. I gotta get Mr. Pumpkin cleaned up. I gotta patch up his holes. Have you heard about the rumors of N64 coming to Switch Online? Heard about them. I've heard of the rumors. I've seen them. They haven't been credible enough for me to make a video on. And you guys know me. I make videos on lots of rumors. But if the rumors aren't even credible enough for me to make a video on, that lets you know how little I think of those rumors. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, by the way. Just means I don't think those rumors are really anything but just guesses. I don't think there's any credit behind them. Yes, Zeus Moose, I went over why I sold them earlier. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot to mention this. The member goal is a little messed up. It already says 1 out of 5. If we hit 5 new members, or in this case, I guess 6. It'll say 6 up here if it updates. If we get 5 new members, we'll be doing a giveaway live on stream. It'll just be like an eShop digital code, but it'll be given away live on stream for everyone. Again, just 5 new members. You just hit that little join button and become a member of the channel. If it doesn't work, is Nightbot working today? I don't even know if Nightbot's working. I haven't checked Nightbot in a while. We'll see if that pops up. I gotta log into Nightbot. It's been a long time. Is Nightbot not working? I'm logged into Nightbot now, so hopefully it starts to work. Sometimes I have to delete him and re-add him to the moderator list. Yeah, so Nightbot's not working, is what I'm being told. All right. What you do in here is you come in here and I delete him off the moderator list. And then I gotta grab this link here. And I re-add them. Well, first I gotta save the moderator list. And then I have to reopen it and re-add them in as a mod. And then Nightbox should work again. Kind of dumb how this happens sometimes, but it is what it is. I guess there's... Alright. Now it should all work. Let me try. Alright. I just did it. So now maybe it'll work. Maybe I gotta refresh. I have no idea. Seahawks 24 rule. Canceling and rejoining will not up the member count. Sorry, that's not how it works. It's got to be new members. Joel Rosario says, shouldn't Nintendo be considered a more powerful unit, especially now that some of their new main titles are lacking on the frame side. Why not give us at least an option to over-click the switch? Over-click? I don't know what that means. But in terms of more power, most of the stuff works fine. I don't know what's up with Nightbot. Why isn't Nightbot working? Let me go here. Is this part working? So it's loading the chat fine. Someone chat in the chat. Say something in the chat. There it is. So if I roll this, it should announce a winner. But it didn't. Weird. Why is Nightbot not doing it, man? I hate when this crap doesn't work. Nightbot, what's wrong with you? Look at the logs here. Regulars, channel regulars, dashboard. Top command is join. I don't know why it's not working. Never had an issue with Nightbot. Well, that's not true. I have had issues. I don't know why it's not working though. Whatever. I can't make Nightbot work. So there's a link to join down in the description. I don't know what the hell's going on with Nightbot. So. Yeah, Nightbot's a little sus. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Why can't I make this work? I mean, there's even a song request thing for playing music. Like, nothing's working. It's weird. I'm logged in, right? Am I logged into the YouTube channel? Setting. Nintendo Front. That's the YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't get it. Nightbot! Activate. I don't know why Nightbot's not working. Do you think the new Kirby game could be Kirby Air Ride 2? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be that. Where do you see Switch in a year? Will it get the PS5, Xbox Series X ports of games? No. It will not. I don't know what the hell is going on with Nightbot. God damn it. I guess I could... Heart channel. Nightbot's now leaving the channel. Nightbot's now joining the channel. Okay. All right, let me reopen the community settings. Is Nightbot there now? Nightbot wasn't on the mod list, so hold on. Now that Nightbot's on the mod list, maybe he'll work. Maybe not he'll work. Sorry, I'm spending time trying to make Nightbot work. It's just easier for our mods if it does. Later, Brian C. Have a good night, my man. Your PC sounds like an F-15. Take it off. Gotta take off, baby. Nightbot's breaking up with me. Happens. I don't know why it's not working. Literally, everything is set up for it. I go to community settings. Nightbot is there now under mods. I literally have no idea what's going on. Enter this, go live. Maybe I have to go live again. See, I've done this before and it's fixed it, so I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, Nightbot's not working. I don't know what's going on. Do you get rid of console or you what? Hey, Nightbot! Welcome to the party! I don't know why you're working now, but welcome, Nightbot! Hey! Celebration! Cheers, Nightbot! Welcome. I don't know what made you work, but welcome. Man, we're gonna get the bigger SCs today. I got more beer here. I've got 3 more beers here. Also got UV Cherry. This is for $10 super chat. This is the dangerous stuff here. 43.5% alcohol. Gold Schlager. That's $20 super chats. And then if we somehow hit 100 total or 100, that's when the cock tequila comes out. That shit's dangerous. Dangerous. We've drank quite a bit of it. All of this has been drank on live stream. I did buy it like 3 months ago, but still, Jesus, we've had. It was mostly June. June had a lot of really crazy live streams. How many bottles of beer on the wall? How many bottles? I only got 3. These are glass bottles. I got 3 glass bottles. Pretty much all I got right now. Nightbot's here. I don't know why Nightbot's working, but thanks. Needs to be a horse as well on the tequila bottle. I mean, isn't the cock enough? I don't know. You know, with me drinking on stream, I don't know why there hasn't been like a booze sponsor, right? I feel like there should be like one of these companies, whether it's like Miller or something, that should just be sponsoring some of my streams sometimes. Hey, man, he drinks on a stream. Let's sponsor him. Maybe they don't like my antics. Maybe they just don't like me. They don't like when I do things like...
Sir, put the pumpkin down. I repeat, put the pumpkin down.
Oh, it's good times. Look at all that. He peed on me. He's bleeding. Oh man. What memory card should I get for the first time owner? I'm getting the OLED. Just a micro SD. You don't have to be. This doesn't have to be anything fancy. Micro SD. Micro SD. Some Not Fox says, "Hey Nate, I haven't been in any live streams lately." Well, there hasn't been any lately, so you haven't missed much. How's it going? I'm currently playing Deadly Premonition Origins and watching your stream while baked. It's going good. So, while Yuli and I were on vacation, right? We went to Vegas last week. We were there for a whole week, which, by the way, a week is a bit long in Vegas. It really is, unless you're like rich. It's a bit long. Like there's only so much walking and looking at things, and doing things that are super cheap that's worthwhile before you hit a point where it's like, man, we're here a long ass time. But one thing we did towards the end is we decided that, you know what, we're in Vegas, it's legal here. Let's go get some edibles. Again, it's legal there, not a big deal. Neither of us like smoking weed. We have both partaken and tried in the past. Neither of us liked it much. But we figured, you know what, let's try edibles. Just to see what happens. I didn't know if you don't like being baked on normal weed, you're probably not going to like it on edibles, but we tried it. First night, we were sold stuff that was clearly not actually edibles. We had way too many milligrams in us for it to have no effect. It clearly was just a scam. Next day, I went to Planet 13, which is the world's largest dispensary. I just paid an Uber and went there. And got some actual edibles, some legit stuff. And yeah, let's just say Yulia only needs half a gummy. Now, these gummies are 10 milligrams each. And I need a full 10. I don't know why I need a full 10. I guess I just like to party. But I only need a full 10 milligrams, and I'm feeling good. Now, if I have 20 milligrams, I'm feeling great. But Yulia doesn't. She doesn't. So we got the sativa ones. Not the. So yeah. So we have the ones that aren't really relaxing per se, but they definitely make you feel good, make you giggle. So she only needs 5 milligrams, and she is feeling fantastic. If she has 10, she's kind of like, I don't know what's going on. But we are people that don't do this stuff very often, so we're very susceptible to the milligrams. Now, some people need a lot more. Like, if you're a regular pot smoker, like 5-10 milligrams ain't shit. But again, everyone needs different amounts. I'm not saying that we're suddenly potheads and baked and everything. We were able to successfully get the rest of our edibles home, however. That was something I wasn't sure of. You're not supposed to transport that stuff over airplanes, right? You're not supposed to put it in your bag, and one, it's illegal in my state. I live in Wisconsin. Weed in general is illegal here. And you're not supposed to transport it through, plane and all that. Anywhere, even in the states that's legal. But if you put it in your, not your carry-on, if you put it in your checked bag, one, they only check 1 out of every 10 bags manually. Like, they'll physically open the bag and look for stuff. All of them go through a scanner. And if they find the edibles when they check your bag, they don't, arrest you. They just throw them out. At least in Vegas. They don't arrest you if it's in your checked bag. They just throw it out. Now, if it's in your carry-on bag and they catch you with it, they don't arrest you, but they will take you to a back room and do a cavity search. And so to avoid a cavity search, even though apparently it's highly more likely you're going to get it through in your carry-on bag than your checked bag, I'd rather if they just found it, just throw it out. Right? Oh, you found it. All right, throw it out. I don't want you cavity searching me. So I put it in my checked bag, and I wasn't one of the 1 out of 10 bags that was checked manually. And it obviously passed through a scanner fine. So came home. I got them home now. So I don't know when we're going to do them again, but eventually. We'll eventually do them again. But we figured out that Yulia only needs 5. So I prefer a little more than that, but that's me. No surprise. Not a big deal, by the way. Just like with drinking, be responsible. Don't be an idiot. Yeah, we were in Vegas for a whole week. Let me see here. I was driving back from Colorado to the East Coast, and I got pulled over, and I mentioned I was over there. So, of course, the cops started asking if I had anything. That's funny. Currently hitting your bong. Jesus. Yeah, we're not into that kind of stuff. Just edible once in a blue moon. That's it. So we'll do them again at some point in the future. Maybe on a weekend where we don't have the kids or something. I've been following this channel for quite a while. I just want to say I love your content, dude. Thanks, Soul, man. I appreciate that. I'm not a big comment guy, but I just want you to know you're the GOAT, dude. You're one of the YouTube GOATs. Well, thanks, man. I disagree with you. But I do appreciate that there are people that really enjoy my channel. I've had a number, so oftentimes people think that I focus on the negative comments a lot because this is just true of human nature. The negative stuff tends to always stand out from the positive. But the reason it stands out for me from the positive is there's so much positive commentary on my channel. So much of it. Look at my recent videos. People say, oh, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad that, because even when I was doing videos before, I wasn't on camera, right? I haven't really done this stuff consistently since E3, so there's been kind of an inconsistent month and a half there, and some equipment issues and everything in between. Now that we're back to normal, people are like, man, I'm so glad I'm back. Oh man, you still look good. This, that, like your shirt, I like this. There's all these positive comments, but then there'll be like that one negative out of like the 20 comments. And because there's so many positive comments, it's that negative one that stands out. If it was all negative comments, then it would be the positive one that stands out, right? So like, yeah, so I know it sometimes seems like I focus so much on the negative, but I'm not really focused on it. I love the positive comments. I read every comment on every video I make, for the most part. Once we get like, a week out, I'll stop reading comments on videos, on old videos. But yeah, it's like, I know there's a lot of people that really like my content. And when I say a lot, I don't know, maybe there's like hundreds, maybe a couple hundred really hardcore fans that love everything I do, and pretty much I can do no wrong. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do really appreciate when people tell me how much they enjoy my stuff, because I don't need validation. I think it's just it's a warm fuzzy feeling you get when people tell you that they really enjoy your stuff. They're entertained by your stuff. They feel informed by your stuff. It's just a warm and fuzzy feeling. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. Eat gummies responsibly. When I'm 21, I don't want to drink. Just don't like the sound of it. Don't like the sound of drinking. Drinking doesn't, drinking booze makes the same sound as drinking water. I know that's not what you meant. Because you are awesome, Prime, and you attract awesome people. All the regs in here are the she's, are the bee's knees. I need to get better at watching your content. Recently, I've been slacking because I haven't been even playing video. Well, Hyper Night, there hasn't been a lot of content coming out. I did a video on Sunday, the day after I got back from vacation. I did a video today. There hasn't been a lot of content. What's crazy though to me is I've been told forever, and I've seen this myself. When you take breaks from YouTube, right? When you take breaks, it screws up the algorithm. Like the algorithm stops favoring your videos, right? So viewership is supposed to go down. So I didn't go a week without videos. I did throw out a video while I was gone on vacation. And I hadn't made a video at that point in like 4 or 5 days. 5 days. So July 23rd was the last video I made before my vacation. And then I made one, Nintendo Direct rumor video while I was on vacation. I made that 5 days later. That video got 6,000 views. Now, it's the Nintendo Direct rumor video, which tends to always perform better. But like that performed better than every video but one in my last like 10. And then when I came back, I dropped another video. Again, Switch leaks, so it was going to perform well. I didn't know it was going to perform like 12,000 view well on Sunday. And then even my video today, hey, we're just talking about Skyward Sword HD. No massively big headline or something for it, right? Not like, oh, it's setting records or anything like that. 6,000 views already. Probably will have 7 or 8 by the time I wake up. Like that's crazy to me. Like we're getting a lot of views and we're getting a lot of subscribers. Like you guys saw when we ended E3, we were at 70,000.5, so 70,500 subscribers. And then like before I went on my vacation, we were at 70,300. And now look at us. In like a matter of like days, we're about to hit 71,000. Like, isn't that crazy? Like how quickly things turn around just by making videos again. Like, and I always knew the whole reason I was losing subscribers was largely because one, there's the E3 fallout. So people who subscribe just during E3 to win stuff, we're gonna unsubscribe after. And then I wasn't making content consistently. Like when none of my videos have been horrible. I think the worst one did 2,000 views, maybe. Like most of my videos since E3 have actually done pretty well, especially compared to before. Like I'm sure many of you guys remember when like, how many of my regulars here in the chat remember when my videos sometimes wouldn't even get 1,000 views? Anyone remember those days? Anyone remember those days when we didn't get 1,000 views? Anyone remember like we've been at like 100 plus viewers? Now we're at exactly 100 right now in live stream. You guys remember the days when there was only like 18 live? You guys remember? Any of our longtime viewers remember those days when like there was hardly anyone here? It's all about preference. I personally prefer flour over edible. Edibles are still great. Edibles also hit you a little harder. It's because the thing with you, man, is that you're pretty fucking genuine. Yes, I said fucking. Hey, the channel isn't for kids, especially on my live streams. You're not fake. You're pretty transparent, and you can't say that. Yeah, I am. Like I'm not sitting here like bullshitting people. I haven't shipped out shit. I haven't shipped out a single item from E3 yet. All sitting in that damn back room. More items have come in, by the way, like Joy-Con that I had ordered and stuff like that for some of the giveaways. That stuff's in. That stuff's here. Stuff's been arriving for the E3 giveaways. But yeah, I haven't shipped anything out yet. I'm not going to sit there and bullshit people about it. I could have, did it. I could have shipped the stuff instead of going on vacation. But it was my first vacation without kids in 10 years. So, sorry, I'm going to prioritize that over the E3 stuff. Everyone's getting all their shit. I'm always transparent about this stuff. I'm not hiding. I'm not lying to people. You'll get your shit. I don't want it in my house. I love all this stuff. All this stuff I give away. All of it's really, really cool. I don't want it in my house. I want my back room back. I have a storage room back there for work. I want it back. Right now it's full of all the giveaway shit. I want that shit out of my house. I don't need an Animal Crossing Switch unopened, sitting in a box in my back room. It doesn't do me any good. What the hell do I have that for? It needs to get the fuck out of here. So like, I don't want this stuff in here. It's just, I need to do it when it's fiscally responsible for me to do so. Basically, when I can afford to do it without worrying about other bills and other things. Remember, I do work full-time besides this. I also, by the way, I'm a full-time college student. And I'm a father of 3 kids. So I'm busy as hell. That being said, things will be shipped out before October 8th. If Nintendo does a September Direct, do you think we might see Breath of the Wild 2 again? I don't think we're going to see Breath of the Wild 2 again this year. I got a feeling we're not seeing it at all this year. I subbed a bit over a year ago. How many subs did I have at that point? Well, there was a September boom last year. That really got the ball rolling. Where we jumped massively. We went from, God, I want to say 41K to, gosh, was it 60K? It was in the 50s somewhere. I know we hit 60K, I think, before the end of 2020. And then we've gained, another 10, 11 this year. Who knows? Maybe we end up getting another. Maybe we end up hitting 80,000 by the end of the year. I don't know. But I don't want to get presumptuous and ahead of myself on that. Because, yeah, just because we've had explosive growth the last few days doesn't mean that's going to continue, right? Like, we're about to hit 71,000. Who says we're going to hit 72,000 next week or the week after? I don't know. I don't know what the viewership my videos are going to be doing. So, yeah, I'd say I was probably around 40,000 back then. I was here when it was like 20. Dude, Sean Lawn, that was a long time ago. That was like 4 years ago. It's 12 a.m. in Virginia? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Good night. Good night, Aubrey. I was back there before 3D All-Stars came out. 30 viewers on stream, yeah. Yeah, now, like, even in a downstream, we'll still have 50 plus. Which is crazy. It's free, yeah. No one's complained, by the way, folks. I want to be clear. Not a single person who won something during E3 has complained. They've all reached out and said, hey, I haven't received the item yet. What's going on? And that's fine. You would expect that, right? You're checking on your giveaway, making sure you're still getting there. I've even had people tell me, hey, if you can't afford to do it, like, don't worry about it. No. We gave away that stuff. Everyone's getting their stuff. No one's been mean. No one's been unreasonable. No one's been unreasonable. There was only one person that was a smidge bit agitated, and I reminded them, hey, dude, you want something for free. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. That's what I always tell people. When you get something for free, maybe it doesn't come when you expected it, but it's free. You're still getting it. As long as you get it, that's what matters. It's not something you paid for. It'd be different if I sold something and then I didn't ship out that sold thing for months. Okay, yeah, you should be pretty pissed about that. You bought something from me. So clearly I had the money at some point because you bought it from me to ship the damn thing. So it's kind of like, yeah, that's different. This was stuff I did for free. I paid for out of pocket. Cost me a lot of money just to even have these items to give away. So yeah, it's just taking me a while to get them shipped. It is what it is. Not the end of the world. But at least this week, everything's going to be boxed up this week. Once things are boxed up, that's when the ball starts to roll. I start to set a pile by my door. Every time that we're a little bit ahead in money, I grab $50 and I say, all right, how many of these items can I ship for 50? Let me grab a handful, take it to the post office, and get them shipped out, right? So I won't be buying myself a lot of games between now and when Switch OLED comes out. Let's just say that. Because a lot of my game money is going to be what I use to ship things. Must say I appreciate how much effort you put in. Yeah. So one thing I still need to figure out is the shutter speed. There are different shutter speeds on this camera. I gotta figure it out because you see how this is flickering back here a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, I can fix that. There's a shutter speed on there that will stop this from flickering. I just have not figured out how to change my shutter speed on my camera yet. But yeah, I try really hard to present a different look, a different show than other YouTubers, right? Like we have the lav mics, bought those last minute for E3. Even bought some new clips, so now when we do the podcast, we don't have to have. Even though the AT2035 mics are great, and I still use them, especially voiceover gameplay, I'm always using the AT2035 mics because there's better mics. So why wouldn't I go with higher audio quality? The audio quality for these ones are pretty good. They weren't cheap. These aren't like these are XLR things. They phantom power and everything. It's a nice setup. I try really hard to, at least I have this year, to differentiate myself from other channels. Like, as an example, I made a video today on Skyward Sword HD dealing with the sales and some of the accessories and all this stuff. Player Essence made a similar video today. And you can see, well, he covered the same stuff, but he threw in some RPG news too. And if you watch his video and you watch my video, same information, but presented differently in a different format. He went with voiceover gameplay, threw a few screenshots up. I went with direct on video, Skyward Sword in the background up here. This is literally from the game in HD, with Link there. Me on camera, I did some images up in this direction for some of the tweets and some of this and that. And I did throw a 1 minute trailer in there at one point when one part I was talking. But you can kind of see like a difference in the styles and the presentation. And my hope is, one, that people really like my style and like my presentation, because I feel like it's one of the big differentiators from me and other channels that might be covering the same news like Player Essence. So when you have a lot of channels doing that, you want to find a unique way to deliver it. And I hope that my setup does that. The nice camera, the angles, the difference in the looks of the set. I even have multiple sets. I haven't used the other one in a while, which maybe I'll use that soon. But I like that I can change stuff up on the screen for everything, even though I realize the flickering, I know sometimes bothers some people. I do got to sort that out. I got a professional light. Finally, I was using these box lights before that were really shitty. Now I've got a really nice one that was quite pricey. I bought for E3. Got these desks, this laptop, which really helps. So now I don't have to be printing off stuff and wasting so much paper all the goddamn time. I can have all the information right here to quickly glance at. Plus, I feel like when you're in a new situation, having like a monitor here or a laptop isn't like unprofessional or anything like that. There's a lot of actual like big, like CNN and stuff where like they'll have a computer right here with like information and they're looking at stuff. That's perfectly acceptable in a professional environment, so it should be acceptable here. Obviously, being able to control everything with the Stream Deck, that's been new. I try to make my stuff different. I don't know if it always comes together well. Also, a big thing in using more practical sets. I used to do a lot of voiceover gameplay or myself in front of a green screen, right? Which can look really, really cool. I think the goal in when I made this set because I use this for live streams. I use this one for live streams, and I use this one for my standard videos. And then I have the same set, but I stand up like over here, and then I present stuff on the screen. And then there's also the zoomed out set. That's the full set that we use for the podcast. It has a different background over here, another chair, bigger desk, all that shit, right? And the thing is, all of this was built in mind to make editing as easy as possible, right? It's all about from the moment I hit record to the moment I turn the camera off. Or I really should say from the moment I hit record to the moment the video goes live on YouTube. How can I shorten this? Because I used to spend 3, 4, 5 hours editing. I ain't got time for that. I got kids, I got college, I got a job. I ain't got time for that shit. I'll spend more time researching what I'm going to end up making a video on than time spent recording and editing the video. And that's been out because of this practical set. Now that it's here, and I literally just, this is a separate computer. I have a keyboard for it right here. Right? Here's the mouse. Wireless mouse for it that I haven't charged in like 3 months. because it's off all the time. But like, look, I hit escape. Boom. Look at that. It's just Windows Image Viewer. Nothing fancy. This is just Windows 10 on a separate computer. Not a big deal. 1080p image. So, except sometimes I have an issue expanding the image. Yeah. So let's shrink. Maximize. I might have to reopen the image. Okay. And now look, that doesn't look very good, does it, right? Like, look, that doesn't look right. So what do? I double click on the image. Or I just single click, I guess. I drag down. Oh, look, that looks a lot better, don't it? And then I take the mouse off screen or off camera, and I turn it off. And then I take this keyboard, carefully set it on its side, lean it up against the desktop, because it's a separate desktop computer. Just nothing fancy. It's a really old desktop. And boom, that runs that whole screen. I used to try to run audio off this back to the computer, but it just doesn't work. Like, it's all simple. I go on here, I download an image or a trailer that I want to loop. It's simple. Everything is simple. It's practical, and it's simple, and it's easy to do, and it makes video production so much easier. But I will say, a lot of people look at this and go, man, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, I want to do it. It took me 4 years to get to this point, and a lot of money invested. Like this camera, there's right now with the lens, the body, the exact tripod I'm using, and all that, and heck, throw the light in there because without the light, the camera doesn't look as good. I mean, that's almost $2,000 worth of stuff just pointing at me. This TV is nothing. This is ancient, man. This TV is. I want to replace this TV with an OLED. One, there would be no flickering no matter what the shutter speed is. Two, more color accurate. Three, this thing is heavy and just unwieldy, and it's old. I mean, this thing's like 12 years old. 1080p TV. But hey, I found a use for it. So. But yeah, like, it took me 4 years to get to this point. To start on YouTube, you just need your phone. You don't even need a separate mic, camera, phone. Buy a little tripod for it, set it somewhere, start talking into it. You can also edit things on your phone. You don't even need a computer. There's video editing programs for phones. But yeah, it took me a long time to get to this point. It's fun, though. I enjoy YouTube. I really enjoy making content. I'm just glad I have it down to now where I don't have to spend a ton of my day making. Like, some people, there's some videos that obviously still take longer. As I said, there's sometimes that I'll spend 3 hours researching something, but only like an hour from recording to sending the video out. And that's all in 4K 60 FPS. Now, these streams aren't, but I record in 4K 60 FPS. Thanks for subscribing. Is it AI V80 or is it Al V80? I can never tell. What do you think about the Oracle games getting a remake for 2023? Yeah, I know about that rumor. I reported on it. I think that'd be nice. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it would be cool. It's been fun. You've been up for over 24 hours. Holy shit. Get some sleep. What program do I edit in, says Michael Roth. I personally am a subscriber to Adobe. So I use Adobe Premiere and Photoshop. Those are like the two ones I use mostly. That I do my editing. There are other ones. There's cheaper ones. Like this one's a subscription service. I pay like $20 a month. I have a student. So technically I have access to all the Adobe plans because I'm a student. So normally it would cost me like $50 to have Photoshop and Premiere, but because I'm a student, I pay $20, and then I get access to everything. But I only use those two programs though. Have them on here, have them on that computer. I think I actually have it on this computer too. I don't edit on this computer though. I think it's just there in like an emergency, like in a pinch, like oh shit, my computers are down. I gotta use something. Oh, I'll edit on this one quick. But I hope I never have to because this computer is very slow. It's a slow boy. It has an SSD at least, but it's a slow computer. Used to be my main computer for a while. But I'm glad those days are over. Not that my current computer is like super fast either. I would say it's maybe mid-range, computer. Nothing special. Not like I'm rocking a 5000 series CPU in it or something. Or a 3080. Have you seen anything about Baldo, the upcoming Nintendo Switch game? No, I have not. You see this Photoshop and then I got updates. What's nice about Adobe products is there's a ton of guides on YouTube. So I have not taken a class for video editing or image editing. By the way, I'm not very good at image editing. But I've gotten halfway decent at video editing. I'm still not going to say I'm great. A lot of professional video editors will have like an entire keyboard of just like keybinds and stuff to make doing all these things really easy. I don't. So it takes me longer to do the same things that other people have keybinds for. But it's all self-taught. Everything I do on YouTube is completely self-taught. There's nothing I'm doing here that anybody sat me down and taught me how to do. YouTube, from when I started doing it all the time to today, building this set, all this was first-time experiences. No idea what I'm doing, just with a vision and hoping I could execute it. And most of the time I didn't. It wasn't until my current setup that I executed it. Hey! Yeah, take a 610 with the $2. Will Halo Infinite campaign launch this year? I don't think so. I've heard that there's multiple campaigns. I'm hearing, at least through the grapevine, that there's multiple campaigns. But I don't think it's going to launch this year. I think we're crap out of luck for that. Multiplayer will, though. And credit to Microsoft, it's free. No. Jonathan Evans. I know I've heard of Baldo. I was saying I haven't heard any new news on Baldo. Never said I didn't hear of the game. I didn't hear any new news. You gotta remember, I just came off vacation. So if there is new news, I apologize. For a week, I was basically disconnected. I mean, I wasn't. I had my phone, but I wasn't reading news. I was on vacation, sleeping or doing stuff for my fiance. Poor Yulia. She got a double eye infection while we were gone. So that sucked. So I had to take her to the urgent care, which of course our insurance doesn't cover any of this crap in Vegas. So I had to pay out of pocket, $100 plus, almost $200 for her to be seen by a doctor to get a prescription for eye drops. So stupid. So poor Yulia. I feel bad that she got that eye infection. It really soured her last few days there. Oh, it's an old man. Any other questions? We got about 9 minutes left. 10 minutes or so, I guess. Can push it to 10 if people really want. So yeah, any more questions? At me in the chat. Now's the time. Get your questions in. Get those questions flowing now, baby. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Christopher Lockhart, what are your hopes for gaming in 2022?
Gaming is going to be amazing in 2022. Switch is going to have so many amazing games coming out. I don't even know how to describe it. PlayStation 5 will finally have exclusives that are worth a damn. Xbox 2. 2022 is the year of the gamer.
So yeah, my hopes are just that we get games. What do I recommend? What do I recommend for video editors? I use Blender. Nothing wrong with Blender. I use Adobe Premiere Pro. That's what I use. But not everybody. There's a whole bunch of different ones. I used to use Sony Vegas. Sony doesn't own it anymore. They sold it off, and after they sold it off, I don't like what the new company did with it, so I don't use it anymore. But yeah, I've used other video editors. I prefer Premiere Pro. It's just easy. I like the subscription service, but then I don't. I wish I could just buy a copy. You used to be able to buy it for like $400. You could just buy Premiere and own it. Now it's only like subscription services, which they obviously make more money over time on. I mean, God, they make like, even at $20 a year for me, it's what, 240 a freaking year they make off me. It's ridiculous. But this is what it is. Not a lot of the programs like Blender you can just buy. So, how do you feel about the response Gabe gave on Steam Deck and Switch? Gabe who? Gabe who? You can't just say Gabe and then assume I know which Gabe you're talking about. See, if you sound like a specific YouTube channel's name, I could be like, oh yeah, wait, huh? But I don't know what game you're talking about, Sonic. What's your history with Pokemon? Played it since the beginning. Is that what you want me to see? Watch any Olympics? I caught a little bit of it. So we were at the Excalibur Hotel, and they just had like basic free cable there. So we did catch some of the Olympics. I saw some of the volleyball matches, some of the swimming. But I'm not really that big into watching the Olympics. We only really watched it because there wasn't much else on TV. Especially late at night. Because they just said free channels. You want a new PlayStation handle? No. Maybe Sony's got something for you. Maybe they have a Vita successor at some point. I have no idea. Have a good night is the I'll give. Okay, Knockbox. I just joined, and I don't know if I missed you going over this, but why did I end up selling your PlayStation 5 Xbox Series X? Primarily, well, I have multiple reasons for PlayStation 5, but I'll just say the general reason for both is that they're still hard to get, and I'm barely playing them. So someone else should just have them. So they, it's going to be their main systems. Have them, use them. I'll pick them up again down the road when they're at a point that is worth me having them. How long of a game do you think Dread will be? I don't know, 15, 20 hours. You think Metroid Dread is going to surpass 3 million sales? Yes. That actually isn't like a for sure thing. Metroid games don't sell very well. I think it's going to hit 5. 5 million, baby. Yeah. Which, that would make it the best-selling Metroid of all time, wouldn't it? Let me think. Yeah, the best-selling one right now is like a 4.3, 4.4. That was Metroid Prime. That's all off the top of my head. But I know Metroid Prime didn't hit 5, and that's the best-selling Metroid of all time. Metroid Dread. Going to be the best-selling Metroid of all time until Metroid Prime 4 comes out. You kind of feel like Dread is overrated already? How so? How is Dread overrated? I have a question. How can Metroid Dread be overrated? First off, Metroid Dread was a former Metroid project that was canceled. Okay. So there's that. There's the excitement over a canceled project coming back. And it's the first new side-scrolling Metroid game in like 20 plus years. Is it possible to overhype a franchise? Now, think about this for a moment. The best-selling Metroid game of all time is Metroid Prime 4. The best-selling side-scrolling Metroid game is like Super Metroid or something that sold like 2 million. 2.1 million. Like, Metroid is not a very popular franchise. I want to make this very clear to people. Metroid's like Kirby in terms of sales. It doesn't sell well, okay? Kirby isn't a big seller. You'll get your 1 million copies sold. That's what Metroid will do. Metroid is not a big IP. It's a big IP in terms of it's been around for a long time. But Metroid itself is not very popular. It's in a very niche genre. and it has a very small but very hardcore fan base. Okay, I don't know that it's possible to overhype a game that is the first of its kind in 20 years and is a revival of a dead version that was being made 20 years ago. If you think about all this, is it possible to be overhyped for a franchise that isn't popular in the first place? If nothing else, if there's a franchise that deserves to be overhyped, it's Metroid. Because Metroid needs the attention. People don't realize how great Metroid is. You see all these Metroidvania indie games selling 3, 4, 5, some of them hitting 10 million in sales, and you wonder why the fuck can't Metroid do that? Because they're not getting the attention. Metroid doesn't get the attention from gamers that some of these indie games get. It's time to stop that. Overhype this game to hell. I want every Switch owner, all 90 plus million that are going to exist by the time this thing comes out, to buy Metroid Dread. Give it a try. And I'm not gonna buy for one iota this overhyped mantra on an IP that doesn't sell. Metroid doesn't sell. We should be fortunate we even still get Metroid games. 20 years, 20 plus years since we've had a side-scrolling Metroid game, like a new one, not a remake, a new one. Let alone on a home console, let alone reviving a dead project. Mainline, hardcore Metroid game that isn't Prime. Dude, this is like when 2D side-scrolling Mario came back, except the gap between releases for that wasn't this long. It was a big deal when New Super Mario Bros. Came out, and that thing sold like gangbusters. It was a massive deal when that came back for Mario. That's how big a deal this is for Metroid. As big of a deal as New Super Mario Bros. Was for Mario, so is this. This is equally as important for a different IP. More important, because it's been even longer. And it's not Mario, which gets games like, in some sort of spin-off formation every year. Metroid, we don't. The last new Metroid game, that was like an actual core Metroid game. And you can talk about Prime Hunters, but there was a core Metroid game, right? God, when did that come out? Was that Metroid Prime 3? Like that was, not Samus Returns is a remake. Metroid Prime 3? On the Wii? Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. On the Wii. That's been dead since 2011. Was the last time we got a new mainline Metroid game. So just speaking on that alone, it's been at least 10 years, if not more. Let alone 2D side-scrolling. Shouldn't really say 2D. I should say side-scrolling because it's not really 2D. Oh yeah, Other M. I always forget about Other M. Other M came out after Metro Prime. Either way, that was still on Wii though. Yeah, that was on 2010. That was on Wii. So Other M. Sorry, I don't know why I actually like Other M. I always forget Other M came out after Metroid Prime 3. Either way, so Other M, still, my point still stands. It's still been over a decade. Doesn't really change my point. Other M came out in 2010. Still was over a decade ago. Andrew Abraham says, as one of those hardcore Metroid fans, I could definitely say that Metroid is criminally underrated. Yup. And there's no such thing as Dread being overhyped. You can't overhype something. Like, if you're not interested in Metroid, that's fine. Like, I feel like a lot of people say, oh, Metroid Dread's being overhyped, are the kind of people that Metroid's not for. And that's okay. Metroid's a niche game. It's a game that doesn't sell. We get it. Okay? But if you like all these Metroidvania games, but you don't play Metroid, as Reggie said, what's wrong with you? Metroid is fantastic, and it's been criminally underrated pretty much the entire existence of the IP. Then you can say, oh, but there's a whole subgenre named after it called Metroidvania, you know, which is Metroid and Castlevania put together. I get it. I get it. But just because it's old and able to have its name in a subgenre doesn't make it popular. Metroid's not popular. Despite the fact that Metroid games are as high a quality as any Mario or Zelda on the market. Metroid Dread is at, I'm just throwing it out right now. Did you love A Link Between Worlds? Link's Awakening on Switch? Did you love, Link to the Past in the past? You know, did you like the Minish Cap? Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, whatever. Whatever your favorite top-down Zelda games are. Did you like those? Were they amazing games? This game's as good as that. Metroid Dread's going to be as good as any of those games. Guaranteed, as good as any of those games. Period. It's not even a debate. Metroid Prime is as good as, you know, when you go back to play the original Metroid Prime, I'm sorry. It's up there with the likes of Breath of the Wild. Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess. Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, same thing. Metroid games are criminally underrated. They are so damn good and nobody tries them. Because it's in a niche genre. Oh, who wants to play another 2D side-scrolling game? You know how many indie 2D side-scrolling games there are? And that's going to be the knock on Metroid Dread is, oh my god, this is a $60 game, but I can go play this indie game for much cheaper. You're not wrong. But is that indie game going to be better? Maybe. It's all subjective. But yeah, dude. The Metroid games are criminally underrated. There's no such thing as overrating or overhyping a game that doesn't sell very well. The reason it's getting so much hype is because people want it to sell well. Because they want people to finally try a Metroid game. Like, try it. Actually play one and see if you like it before you knock it, right? Like, actually play the damn thing. And then complain. Oh, is it worth $60? Play it. Play it first. And then tell me if it's worth $60 or not. You know? Like, I'm day one all the way with Metroid. But I like Metroid. Fell in love with it when I was a kid. No, I'm not mad. If you're not looking forward to, by the way, not every game's for every person. Like, I love Breath of the Wild. Not even all Zelda fans love Breath of the Wild. Like, not every game's for every person. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you're a bad person if you don't like Metroid or you've never played Metroid and you have no interest in Dread. It doesn't make you a bad person. I'm just saying, yeah, us Metroid fans are gonna hype the shit out of it because it's been so damn long. 11 years since the last mainline Metroid entry. 20 plus years since we've had a side-scrolling Metroid. Forgive us for being hyped. If Nintendo announces a brand new top-down Zelda game tomorrow, that's going to come out this holiday, how hyped are Zelda fans going to be? Their hype levels are going to go through the freaking roof. We haven't had one since what? Triforce Heroes? Link Between Worlds? Right, like a new one? It's been a while. We're going to be hyped. So let Metroid fans be hyped. Let them have their day. Metroid fans only get their day like once every 10 years. Let them have their day. Let them have their day. Let them be excited. Let me hype it up. Because we don't get to do it very often. What's up, Ragna Rock and Roll? Just wanted to say hi. I've been watching the whole time and playing Pokemon Unite. How is Pokemon Unite, by the way? I haven't played it yet. How is it? I was debating on if I should give it a try or not. I would love Nintendo to make a new top-down Zelda with HD SNES graphics. 2D games are still some of the best. That's what some people prefer. Another Grezzo remake. If Metroid doesn't sell, why does Nintendo keep making Metroid games? Hey, doggy, it's been 11 years since the last one. Do they really keep making them? I'll tell you why Nintendo hasn't abandoned Metroid yet. They obviously don't treat it like Kirby. They make that every year. They don't treat it like Zelda, which gets regular releases and remasters. We have had Prime Hunters and we had Samus Returns since the last game. But again, one's a spin-off game, the other was just a remake late in the 3DS cycle. The thing is, we don't get Metroid games very often, but they haven't abandoned it because Samus is iconic. Samus is basically looked at as one of the OGs for female protagonists. So Nintendo has a ton of games with male protagonists. But when it comes to female, Nintendo was one of the first companies in the world to have a female lead in a video game. And we don't even know that it was female until like the second game or third game. So like, the thing is, Samus has become this iconic figure at Nintendo as their leading female protagonist. And because of that, they are heavily invested in making sure that IP sticks around. They're not heavily invested in making it. Like, if Metroid sold well and made them lots of money, we get more Metroid games more often, right? Like, think about it. Prime 4 might not come out for 2023, 2020. It might be on next-gen Switch at this point, right? Like, next-gen platform, right? Like, Metroid Prime 4 might not even come out this generation. Think how long it's been since we've had a Metroid Prime game, like an actual Metroid Prime game. How long it's been since we had a 2D side-scrolling game. How long it's been since Other M. We don't get Metroid games very often, and that's why, because they don't sell well. But Nintendo continues to make them once in a blue moon because Samus is an iconic character. They're not abandoning the IP. Plus Nintendo, and this happened with Other M, Nintendo has this hope that they can Breath of the Wild Metroid. What I mean isn't fundamentally changing what Metroid is and going in all new directions. What it is Nintendo has this idea that once in a while they want to take a crack at making Metroid popular. Now, the reason they think they can do this is because when Metroid Prime came out, that was a completely new direction. That was like the Breath of the Wild of Metroid games. And it sold 4 million. It seemingly doubled the fan base of Metroid. But then they've never been able to get back to that, right? It's kind of like Twilight Princess, hit 8 million. But like they've never been able to get back to that until Breath of the Wild. And they blew it out of the water. So I think Nintendo looks at it as they feel like if they do a game the right way in Metroid, it could break that mold of sales. They just aren't sure how to do it. They thought Other M and teaming up with Team Ninja I think it was Team Ninja that helped with that one, was going to be the way to go. I think they really thought full voice acting. They invested a lot of money in Other M. They thought Other M was going to be that big deal game. Combining Prime and side-scrolling together. And honestly, I think the game was pretty good. End of the Wii life cycle, that didn't help. And people didn't like the voice acting. They didn't like the story, et cetera, et cetera. So like there was just a lot of like actual Metroid fans didn't really like Other M. And since they didn't like it, it didn't really keep the hype levels very high. So it didn't have a chance to sell well, plus the end of the Wii life. So it's just this whole, concoction of stuff that comes together where Nintendo thinks Metroid can sell well if they do it right. They just aren't sure what doing it right means. Now, Metroid Dread is basically just throwing caution to the wind and saying, we're not even trying to sell a lot of copies. Okay? Metroid Dread is not a game that's put out there as Nintendo's expecting to sell 5-10 million copies of this thing. They're not. They'll be happy with 1 million. Metroid Dread exists because this is Nintendo saying, screw it. We're sorry you had to wait forever for Prime 4. I guarantee you this got lit. Like, this game got greenlit probably the moment that Metroid Prime 4 got delayed. They said, oh, shit. We don't want to piss off our hardcore Metroid fans. We better give them something. So they started work on this. And I think that they just threw caution into the wind and said, we're not trying to expand the Metroid fan base. We're going to make the most hardcore, side-scrolling Metroid game we can make. And that's what they did. That's what it appears that they did. And if that's the case, cool. They're going to massively please Metroid fans. And that's all Nintendo cares about with this game. They don't care about this game selling well. If it ends up selling well, while at the same time they focused on hardcore Metroid fans. Like, this is a game for hardcore Metroid fans. This is not meant to expand the fan base. If, in focusing on hardcore Metroid fans, it ends up selling 4, 5, 6 million, then Nintendo's going to start to rethink what they've been doing with Metroid this whole time. Like, maybe we shouldn't have been trying to go in drastically different directions. maybe we should be focusing on what we do and do it the best that anyone can do. But we'll have to see what happens. And obviously Prime 4 is kind of that big thing out there that holds a lot of hopes for the future of the IP, because I think Nintendo even looks at it as that's the game that can grow the Metroid fan base. They look at this as that. This is for the hardcore Metroid fans. It didn't cost us a lot of money to make this. Hope it sells at least 1 million. Enjoy. If it sells more than that, great. With Metroidvanias being one of the most prevalent genres in the industry right now, especially among indie developers, perfect time for Nintendo to bring Metroid back. Yeah, that too. It's a good time because Metroidvanias have become very popular in the indie scene. It also the problem with that though is also it makes the $60 price point. There's a lot of, I haven't seen as many people bitching about it as compared to Skyward Sword HD, but I have seen the argument put out there that this game is not a $60 game, which I think is an absolutely ridiculous argument to make. Just because a Metroidvania style indie game isn't $60, one, it doesn't mean the game's any less quality just because it's cheaper. But two, that's great. But Metroidvania, the whole genre is named after the Metroid IP. The Metroid IP and Castlevania, for that matter, should be the gold standards within the genre. Should be the gold standards. And the gold standards should cost a premium because they're the gold standard. It just so happens we haven't had a Metroid side-scrolling besides a remake be a gold standard. So, this should be a bastion. Now, to be clear, this gets confusing as well. Metroid games are not Metroidvania games. I want to be clear here. Metroidvania games are not what Metroid is. Metroidvania is basically Castlevania. The reason it's called Metroidvania is because Metroid came first, Castlevania came and took what Metroid did and then added RPG elements to it. So it said, hey, we see what you're doing, now we're going to add RPG elements to it, and then it got dubbed into Metroidvania. As Metroid founded it, Castlevania built on top of it. So really, Metroidvania games are basically Castlevania-inspired games. Metroid is not a Metroidvania game. But it's still part of the genre in so much that it helped found the whole genre. It's just, don't expect this to be an RPG, because that's not what Metroid is. Taker 610! Yeah, baby, thanks for the $2. He says, did Eric lose his mind over the Bucks title? Oh, dude, he couldn't sleep for like 3 days. He's not even a big Bucks fan. Like, he's a Wisconsin sports fan, but I'm massively into the Bucks. He's not. He couldn't sleep for 3 days. I don't know how, because he wasn't even into the NBA like 8 years ago. I've been watching the NBA since I was a kid. But, yeah, man, he didn't sleep for 3 days. As for Aaron Rodgers being back, he doesn't like Aaron Rodgers anymore. He thinks Aaron Rodgers is a punk, and he wishes they would trade him. So, that's his opinion. Cheers. Doesn't matter that I disagree with his opinion, but all free to have. My opinions are like us holes. Eric just sent me an attachment. I figure my time is worth at least $10 an hour. Therefore, if a game holds my attention for at least 6 hours, it's worth $60. You know, how we value entertainment is always an interesting conversation, but I think I'm going to save the value in entertainment for a future stream. We got a lot of streams to do this week, and I feel like that's a really good idea for a future stream to talk about how we value our time for entertainment purposes. Not in general. You can value your time for doing that. What do you value your time for work? Like, you might be, dude, I bust my ass. It's hard work. I don't really even enjoy it. Like, you know, what's that worth to me? $10 an hour to get paid? Is it worth 15, 20, 30, 50? I mean, you know, that's depending on what you're doing. So how we value our time is interesting, but I think we should have a conversation on that in a future live stream this week. Maybe tomorrow, right? We'll be live streaming tomorrow night. So maybe we'll kick it off. Tell you about the value of games and the value of entertainment. Anyways, you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, we got over 100 likes on the stream. Thank you guys. We had 100 likes on our first stream back, baby. Woo! We did it! 100 likes on our first stream back. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. We're back at it full time. Well, as full time as my channel gets right now. We'll have a new video dropping in the morning and a stream tomorrow for sure. If there's any other videos besides that one video, consider it a bonus day. We don't usually get more than one video out, but sometimes we get 2 or 3. It can get crazy. We'll see what happens. Thank you for the 100+ likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you as well to all of our super chatters. I don't have the list in front of me right now of who all super chatted, but thank you for everyone who did. It's just not telling me who all the super chatters were or are, but that's all right. You guys are amazing. Have a good night, and I'll catch you in the next video tomorrow morning. Be there or be square.